Hello, my name is Daniel, and I'm pretty much starting this channel to talk about footy cards because I've exhausted the interest of my friends and family for the past few years. So now I'm trying to see if there's any like-minded individuals who are interested in footy cards and the trajectory they might go on. I know there's lots of channels about basketball cards, NFL cards, even soccer and Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, that kind of thing, but none on AFL. So I was kind of looking for that content, myself, and I couldn't find any. So try and fill the void in some way. And maybe I'm by myself, maybe no one thinks the same way I do, but I think there's quite a lot of opportunity and there should be a lot of future growth in the footy card industry. And yeah, I'd like to start some discussion and see what people think about it. So I've kind of mentioned the other big markets at the moment: basketball, NFL, soccer's booming at the moment as well. And I find it weird that in Australia, even these markets have gotten really big, and you see people paying huge amounts of money for cards, especially the more iconic cards like LeBron cards, Kobe's, Jordans. But the same hasn't kind of happened in AFL, and I just find that strange because Australians are so passionate about AFL and it's the country's biggest sport. But I'm not completely surprised because this happens in many other things like pop culture as well, and we tend to follow the US and the UK rather than kind of embrace the homegrown stuff. Me myself, I dabble in some vintage clothing, and it's always weird how we prefer the American sports stuff or the American band tees rather than our own kind of football or Australian sports or Australian media personalities, that kind of thing. So because we've got such a great culture shifting game such as AFL, which is so important in Australian culture, and what I feel, I'm surprised. I went into a card shop the other day, and I talked to the guy in there, and he said, yeah, AFL cards just don't move. Like, there's not really a market for them. And I thought, why is this? And the first thing I think of when people say, oh, you can't move Aussie football cards, like there's no market, is the market must be too small. And this, you can kind of see why this is, because America has 15 times the population or whatever as Australia. But I think that the prices still don't stack up, even if you do that 15 times measurement, and even if you look at the worldwide impact, because basketball is very popular around the world and AFL isn't. But even if you look at that, I mean, you've got a Luka Doncic card. He's a new rookie. He is doesn't have legend status or anything, and he has about 20, 30 different rookie cards. And some of his cards are selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars, well, millions actually. But and then you look at Australian cards, and you got Lance Franklin, who is an undisputed legend of the modern game. I'd say probably in the top two players in the last 20 years. And his rookie card is going for, he's only got two rookie cards, one signature which goes for about $250, $200, and the platinum draft pick, which goes at the moment probably a bit more, but I bought one for $160 last year. So just that huge differential, I feel, has to close and will close in the future. And like I said, Australians are so passionate about football. So even though the market might be small, I don't think there's a problem, as in if it booms, then you won't be able to find people passionate enough about the sport to buy them. I feel like people will definitely get around it, and people love their footy, pretty much. Also, about this, people say the hobby is small and the hobby's dying. Well, that's been said about for sports cards in general for a long time, but Australian cards especially. But I was surprised recently, I joined quite a few Facebook pages about footy cards, and some dudes are shelling out like $1,000 for the new team coach cards and for the Dusty Martins and all these modern kind of junk cards. Even if they're numbered, even if they're rare, they don't really hold any significance, well, to me at least. So I'm pretty surprised that they're selling for those amounts of money. And I think if a Dusty Martin team coach 2021 card, which has no real significance in his career, his 11th season in AFL, if that can sell for $1,100, then his rookie card should be selling for about $3,000 in comparison. I know I wouldn't pay anywhere near that at the moment, but just if you stack them up against each other, that's what I think it should be about. Whereas his signature goes for about $650 at the moment on eBay. So the third point I thought when people say, well, why hasn't the AFL card market boomed like others? But I think people would say, well, the cards just aren't good enough. They don't have any historical value, or there's no history behind them like there are with other sports such as baseball. And I'd say, well, Select Australia has done an amazing job over the past 20 years. Since '98, they started releasing the rookie, the draft pick signature cards, and they've got some pretty amazing cards and pretty important cards, which hold a lot of historical value for a footy fan, I think. I mean, they've got Rewalt, Franklin, no Ablett card, unfortunately, because he was father-son, but the Dangerfield, Dusty, Fife, all those have a rookie and draft cards. So there definitely are iconic cards, and I'd personally look at Select. I mean, I don't really pay any attention to Team Coach, but people collect what they want to collect. But that means there's one card maker in Australia, and I think they're a very reputable kind of quality card maker, whereas in America they might have 10 different companies that are making cards, and each one has different sets every year, and you might have 30 different variants in a year, whereas Australia has one company, and they might put out, well, last year they might have put out 4, but of the rookie class releases, there's only about 1 each year, so there's just not that much supply. And I think some demand is still there, but once demand increases, then there's just going to be a huge gap in the market where prices are going to have to go up. So anyway, I don't want to get too deep into it. I've got lots of ideas I kind of want to talk about and get off my chest in the next few videos. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you want to stick around for the ride, and I'd love to have some discussion in the comments, or just message me on YouTube if you have anything to say about it and feel the same way about AFL cards becoming investable like many other card games or sports cards in general. So thanks.